2, 1. We are live.
This is True OF Entertainment.
Welcome to the Lost Dollar Business Club, where we talk about business, and not just business. We talk about what makes businesses go up and what makes businesses go down. If you're interested in businesses, this is where it is. We talk about the global economy. We talk about global politics. We talk about everything and anything business related that affects your life on a global scale as well as a local scale. And don't miss after the show, Lost and Found.
All right.
I guess John and I are the plus various guests and members.
Usual.
We should get James Earl Jones to come out of retirement and just do like, this is the Lost Dollar Business Club. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, I think AI can do that. I don't know if we want to get sued so early in the game.
No. If we were on Instagram only, we would do that all day long and not have to worry about it. And I'd be okay with it. But because YouTube actually takes that really serious with music and everything else. No. Instagram could care less. Like Instagram, you can literally plagiarize or do whatever. Yeah, everything on Instagram is a go.
That's why. It's a meta company.
Yeah, it's because Zuckerberg's got his head up his ass. Anyway,
Zuckerberg's busy with one of the largest open source AI models, his LLaMA.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's
and they got there was a French one with this came out. Language 2 came out yesterday. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing, yeah. So
it's a whole thing. This AI, it's a crazy thing.
But in this time period where AI is blowing up, we've got a lot to talk about around all of these weak profit reports from big tech companies.
Yep.
So that's been happening all week. Just many disappointments.
A little pun there, Michael.
What's that?
A little pun. Weak profits happening all week. I like that. Weak profits.
Yeah. And then we'll talk about Tesla, one of our favorite topics.
Oh, let's just go start with them right off the bat.
Yeah, we can start off. We can start off on the bat with Tesla. Let's do that, and then we'll go into. There's a lot going on in Europe actually related to climate activism, burning trains, pretty wild stuff happening. We'll do all that.
Oh, those frogs. So, Tesla, a couple things on Tesla. One is very funny. I saw a video of a guy that has a Cybertruck. There's a guy, POS, because that's a crappy thing. And there's two videos. One's really funny. The guy makes fun of his own Cybertruck. He goes, listen, he goes, you guys have gas cars? He goes, big deal. He goes, my car is at 1%. And after 12 hours of charging, I can go 99 miles on 12 hours of charging that cost him $250, he said. And he said, so I'm saving the environment. And his whole videos are hysterical about his Cybertruck. Like you literally, he's no compliments at all to it. Then the other day, a friend of mine sent me a video of raccoons thinking the Cybertrucks now are trash cans, big trash bins, and they're trying to break into the back where the trunk is. And they're biting it and tearing it apart because they think there's trash in there. I mean, the car's trash.
Well, maybe they're more right than we realize.
Yeah, so I thought that was just no, but they're literally, if you have a Cybertruck, apparently this guy was out camping and they went for a hike and he came back and there were raccoons on his thing. And goes like, how cute! And I guess they came over to it, and on the whole back, you just see tons of footprints and feces and. There's, I guess the back end of it, they were biting. So like plastic or whatever it is torn off. And I was like, whoa. So apparently the Cybertruck for raccoons is where that'll be going. And apparently the guy who made the funny video about his $250 12-hour charge was saying to replace that front windshield is like astronomically expensive.
Right. It's probably you'd call that a non-standard part.
Right. So, it's just sort of like, I don't get it. I know Tesla sales.
I don't know, but listen,
profits are down.
Tesla stock of all the tech stocks is the one that was hurt the most.
Yeah.
And maybe rightfully so.
Yeah. Well, Elon got his $56 billion, package. So you're doing great, Elon. And in Australia, there was a news report. I want to say there's either 1,000 or 2,000 cars just sitting at the port. Nobody wants them. Like they can't give them away in Australia.
Well, do they even have electric infrastructure there? I'm not even sure.
They don't even have electric in Australia. They're still with the Aborigines, and they're going oh, and everything running around praying to the moon god.
It's
Listen,
true.
I lived in Melbourne. I lived in Melbourne for a year.
Okay.
Their infrastructure, all kidding aside, in Australia is probably better than America's. Even though when you flush the loo, it goes in the opposite direction, which is really awesome. But anyway, I'm a child, so I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But
that's
their
because you're on the
infrastructure
other
is really.
southern hemisphere.
I know, it's just you flush it and you're like, holy mo, look at that. So, and if the cameras had video back then, I would have taken a picture of it just going the different direction because like I said, I'm a child. But their infrastructure is good. I just don't think people believe in Tesla. I think people are finding out that electric cars are more harmful than good. Yeah, I think people are just fed up with Elon's BS. I mean, like, nobody really cares.
That's part of the conversation around Tesla is that he's got so many projects now, and he's opened his own AI company, which now supposedly he's drawing talent away from Tesla to his XAI company.
Right.
He diverted NVIDIA AI processors from Tesla to XAI. And the question is he really meeting his responsibilities for these companies that he's supposedly the leaders of?
No.
No.
I mean, like, let's just be blunt. No. He's an egotistical SOB. I know Joe Rogan's on him all the time, and so is Bill Maher. And that's fine. I mean, maybe outside of what we see, he's a really nice guy. But Rob Vega from Vaguely News, every Sunday, I guess I knows of whatever, and he said he was a dick when he was in South Africa. So I'm assuming then what we see is what we get, except when he's doing interviews, and then I'm assuming then he's like, oh, look, I'm LLaMA. But I don't. He's never done anything for me. I never liked Tesla.
You've never liked
cars
Tesla.
are. I'm not. I mean,
there's a long history of that.
That's right. But I mean, since day one, and he's SpaceX. Okay, so and it goes to his boring company and everything else. And I've said this. All he did is take patent trolls
from other
and steal patents from the 1800s and the 50s and the 60s. And he's like, look at me, I'm a genius. No, you have patent trolls that are geniuses, and you've taken it now because we have the technology, which they didn't have, and you've done this.
I still think that the mass production of SpaceX's capabilities is actually something that enhanced the space industry, because they did commercialize something that was once very, very difficult and expensive.
Once again, technology has got us to a point. And I like to pick on John because David's not here, but I mean, John could come up tomorrow to me and go, we should make a rocket ship, and be like, okay. I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's like, do you have a few $1 billion? Sure. Let's go make a rocket ship. Okay. I mean, we could do the same thing, and we could make it better because now the technology has improved. So that's the difference. What he's done with technology is I don't want to see he thinks ahead, but he's taking ideas of the past and then having somebody, I'm assuming much smarter than him, tweak it for what's today. Boeing's having a problem, of course, with that. So Boeing can't do anything. But if you look at Bezos did the same thing. But Bezos doesn't run around.
Failed,
Yeah, he failed.
He's been 8 years in the making, and he doesn't have anything. Okay. Yeah, okay. Maybe Elon Musk is a great
tool
marketing guy, but he knows how to put things together. You don't Apple was Apple and Jobs innovative? No, he took old ideas and repackaged them. The iPod was not a new idea. It was the Sony portable Walkman. Look, SpaceX is a huge success. The U.S. lost the shuttle, and the U.S. had nothing. And he came along and fairly quickly, the U.S. had a rocket system that works and delivers. Right. And I mean,
we didn't lose all our shuttles, John. We still have shuttles. We still have shuttles. We didn't lose them all. We still have shuttles. We just mothballed them.
Well, yeah,
No,
exactly.
they didn't stop. They stopped working. Basically,
we stopped fixing them. So
yeah. Look,
it was very expensive. Very expensive.
Boeing's new, I don't know what to call it, rocket with humans in a capsule. It's sitting there 3 weeks. They don't even know if they can bring them back in the original capsule because
no,
yeah,
that's
right.
awful.
They're trying to test it, so that they know what the actual problem is. They're testing it here on the ground, so obviously a second prototype or whatever, second production, but that's just incredible.
Yeah, that's a shame.
I give his company credit, and knock on wood so far. I mean, they had some failures with the rockets exploding and whatnot and doing things, but so far with humans in his rockets, so far, knock on wood, good to go. Like so far, it's very good that they've never had an issue, and that is a good thing. You know what I mean? I'm happy.
I mean,
I'm happy. Not like
half
Boeing.
the rockets coming back to Earth
Yeah.
and landing. That is a huge success.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's not him though. That's technology that was patented a million years ago.
It wasn't him. But did anybody put it together? How long did it take?
No, because not everybody. I think part of the issue is the governments today are too much wanting to blow each other up, and the military wants to have all the toys. So we don't have a JFK going, let's go to the moon. Let's do that. We don't have a president like that. Whether it's Camilla or Trump in November, whoever wins, neither of them are like, let's go to the moon. And nobody gives a shit about the moon anymore. Okay,
it's called Mars. You got to get to Mars.
Even forget Mars. Listen, the moon's an alien base. We know there's aliens there. We don't care. There's no reason. We saw we came. No. We don't need to go there anymore. They told us, don't come back or we'll kill you. We're not going to the moon. We're not going to go to Mars because Elon has to negotiate a deal with the lizard people. Not happening. But we don't have any governments that are like, let's go do this. China put a rover on the moon. Okay, so did India. So did the UAE. That's all awesome. But no one really gets excited about it. And in the 60s, when that was happening, that was real news. And as much as Elon's spaceship is cool, you watch it one time, you're like, yeah, okay. Even the space shuttle, the first time it went up, everyone's like, oh my God. And then after that, nobody cares. We are a society of 30 seconds. Like we're really excited about something for 30 seconds and we're done.
I don't really care that, most people give it 30 seconds. There's a deeper purpose for anything.
What's the deep purpose, John?
Look, if people want minerals from outer space, they want
it from the asteroids. Yeah, they want it from asteroids. They want to be whatever's past a trillionaire. They want to be that group. Like they said, if you can mine an asteroid, you become a trillionaire. It's like, okay, congratulations. But that's my point. So now what are you going to do with the $1 trillion? You're going to help anybody, or you're just going to build more shit?
That's right.
Build more shit.
Or another yacht.
Yeah, you're losing objectivity here over Musk and Tesla. I think
Okay, well, let's talk about governance.
Maybe he's not.
If I'm a stakeholder,
favorite guy, but
listen, I give him credit where credit is due. Not really. If I'm a stakeholder now or a shareholder in Tesla, I'm not a happy camper now.
Well,
you're diverting my chips and this and that. Yeah, and
the crazy thing is the Elon Musk, the shareholders are Elon Musk fans, from what it sounds like, and the people who are fleeing are the ones who are like you, Stephen, who just don't like the guy and don't believe in what he's doing.
That's actually not true.
There's a lot of people supporting him.
His stakeholders and shareholders are not all fans. When he was trying to get his $56 billion pay package, his shareholders are the ones who took him to court in Delaware. Not
the contingent of them. That's true.
A bulk of them. So if I'm a shareholder or stakeholder now, and I see that your fake little car isn't selling and my profits are down, how much longer am I going to be a fan if you can't produce a profit? I'm not going to be a fan past the second quarter of no profits.
Yeah, and Tesla also
had a profit, but it just they were much reduced based on a lot of competition and lowering prices to sell the cars. Yep. Still, they have over 55% of the electric market. I think.
Yeah, no, they don't. No, not anymore. BYD has a larger percentage globally than Tesla does, and China did a deal with Tesla. to sell less, allowing them to sell their electric cars. The BYD kicks everybody's. BYD makes a real electric car it has a better battery, more functions, they make their cars are wonderful, and we can't sell them in the United States, of course, because America and China's having a little problem, which will be interesting to see how that pans itself through. So BYD is a great car company, so we can't sell them there. And there's other electric car companies that are probably better than Tesla. I'm not like Porsche. It's ridiculous. I wouldn't buy a Porsche EV. In fact, I wouldn't buy an EV at all because they're finding out now there's radiation. No. Listen, I think it's a cool idea. I just don't like the fact that it emits this radiation low level, and they go, "Oh no, there's nothing to worry about." Yeah, that's what you say now. In 25 years, they're going to be like, "We made a mistake." So I'm good with a gas guzzler.
Well, look, Steve, you have wireless earphones in your head, so don't talk about
but you only use these. Can I tell you something? Only use them for the show. Any other time, I have a plug-in set. In fact, our sponsor. I have our sponsor set finally here. I use these for the show, and then after the show, these come out, and then the plugins go into my laptop, and then that's it. So no, I'm not a big fan of any of this crap. So just so we're clear. Hey, before we get talking about sponsors, let's pay a bill.
Get the freedom and the flexibility of remote work in the lucrative tech industry. Bend your life around the world. Bandicoot is the premier course and community for thriving in a remote tech career. Join the revolution today. Bandicoot.com. Official partner of the Lost Dollar Business Club.
I didn't want to forget. So, hey, I got a question. You want to talk about climate? You want to I can do a must show all day. Listen, dude, I know. Elon's a neighbor. I know. You're not a fan. I don't know why Elon doesn't come on the show. He's my neighbor. I mean, so I'm like, him and Matthew McConaughey should just come on together.
You're in the right. You're in the right.
All right. So
maybe you should go and say hello.
I brought him a cake, and I left it at the door, and I don't think he's seen it yet. So, and what's really funny is if you take a certain road, I passed the Tesla plant, which is humongous on the right, depending on the side, but on the right side of the road is this mega plant, and on the left side are all these Cybertrucks just sitting there. So, and apparently the raccoons are driving them. So there you go. But anyway, enough about Elon. Elon, not that we don't love you, but
we watch you on the show. Talk to us about AI and about Tesla and about the other companies.
Yeah, and why you deserve $56 billion. Anyway, it'd be cool. But Elon, he watches the show. He just doesn't want to come on. He doesn't have the guts. I got it. I understand.
Yeah. I don't think he has time to watch our show.
Can I tell you? Everyone important watches our show. Trump watches the Habana Cigar Show religiously, and we know that because they want him to come on, and we're vacillating if we should do that because Riz is a big fan. So
there you go. Bring him on.
And David, just so you guys are aware and our fans are aware, David is literally, and I wish I was making it up, but I'm not, has sent emails to Putin, Missile Boy, Xi, and every other world leader asking if they would like to come on, and they give them a list of the shows and go, which show would you love to come on and be interviewed on by these guys?
That's great. Well, there's a whole array. We give them options.
Right. And here's the funny part about it is I said, David, how many people have responded to you out of the 250 emails? None. He goes, they will. And so like once a month, he just sends them out. And I'm figuring one day somebody from some third world country we've never heard of is going to be like, I will come on your show. And we're all going to be like, oh, that's cool. Who are you? So we're going to have to do research. So one day.
Keep at it.
Yeah, why not?
Well, look, talking about all these different countries, we're gonna go across the pond to Europe.
Ooh. And
look at how climate activists have been anti-fossil fuel climate activists have been coordinating attacks, and I shouldn't say. I mean, they're political attacks on airports. They're trying to disrupt air travel in Europe, and they're doing it successfully in many countries to protest fossil fuels. And the penalty is actually not so bad. They're getting fined. Some are getting some jail time, but several countries are actually looking at much more stringent penalties for that because it's so disruptive. The question is that really the way to do it? Does that really affect anything or work? I don't think so.
No.
So stupid.
Yeah,
It's so dumb.
It's just like the news of in three sections of the high speed network of France's trains.
Yeah.
They cut big time cable, so 2/3 of the network is down. So
Wow.
I think it's, I don't know if it's part of the active campaign with
No, I think that's the Olympic thing.
This
So
is
today
the-
also
this
in
is
the
the
Financial
Olympics,
Times.
but it's sort of, you could tie it all together.
Yeah.
In a
Well,
way, right?
The Financial Times yesterday was Friday, wink, wink, said that there was 3 fires set in trains for the opening of the Olympics that were yesterday. So apparently they're trying to disrupt that. And also they were saying that there's 280,000 tickets that have not sold. So this Paris Olympics is like a failure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also, I don't know if it's beyond the 10 billion, sort of budget that they try to stay under, but I think it's it's actually a pretty expensive one too.
Yeah.
But I don't know the exact numbers, but I thought I read that they had gone way beyond the 10 billion, which is not less and less cities, fewer and fewer cities can now
Even afford to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. It disrupts the whole place. It's a big money suck. And do you make any money or you break even? I don't know. What's the prestige?
But let me ask you this:
Well, somebody's
do we
got to
even
do
think
it.
the Olympics? Do we think the Olympics are even worth having anymore? I remember when I was a kid, they were a really cool thing every 4 years. Well, this summer, the Winter Olympics is like, yeah, Hans is skiing. I don't care. But curling, I would watch anyway. But do we really think Olympics? It's not what it used to be. It used to be a bunch of amateurs, and now back in the day,
Now
it was
it's a
professional
professional
Russians.
sport. Yeah,
It's
right.
all right. Like even the women's basketball team has everybody from the WNBA. There's no college athletes. There's no. So my question really is, do we really need them anymore? My personal thing is no. It's like it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. And I apologize to the athletes, but it really is because there's nothing there. You're already playing professional sports.
It's supposed to be a play. It was supposed to be a national pride, a source of national pride. That's how I always viewed it. Is that you actually were behind the people who went on behalf of your country.
Correct.
And if they're so professional about it now, how can you? It's like a professional sport.
Maybe we should go back to somewhat of more of the original core sports. Now we have 32 different sports. Maybe if we reduced it to the original Olympic sports, maybe it would be more exciting. And
naked Greek men and virgins only in the audience. I like the way you're thinking there, Johnny. So, but no.
I think
that's what it was. That's the Olympic. That's the originals. The only virgins could go and watch it, and they did it naked. That was the original Olympics. If you want to go to the original, that was it. That's the original, Johnny. They went,
maybe not that extreme, but something that a little.
Yeah, just saying. But the other interesting thing is there's something called World Games, which comes out, and they put all these ridiculous other sports, and they see how well they do, and if they do well, they make it to the Olympics. So the World Game comes out the year after the Olympics. So they'll have like rollerblading, like they have figure skating, they'll have rollerblade skating. So World Games is how you get all these other fakakta things, because they're like, oh, people like that.
Is this a worldgames.com? I mean, I haven't heard of the World Games.
I don't know. I read a whole story on it, and there was a whole story on it.
International World Games Association. There you go.
That's the one. So what you do is you petition. Oh, you know who I learned this from? John Oliver on his show. You petition the World Game people for a sport. They put the sport in. If it does well, then the Olympics look at it to see if it could be an Olympic sport. But once again, back when I was a kid, like when Mark Spitz was going to race, everyone knew who Mark Spitz was. You knew, like when the American hockey team won against the Russians, you knew that. Right. Now, nobody knows jack what's going on in the Olympics. I couldn't tell you who's in the Olympics. I can't, even when we were kids, like in 68 and 72 and that stuff, we knew the Russian athletes as well. You know what I mean? Like
it's a different media environment, though. There wasn't so much back then. When you think about it, there wasn't so much competition in terms of content and media. Now you've got everybody. Nobody's really watching mainstream television. They're all streaming their content. They're all streaming content that they're choosing on their own.
Right.
So it's also the environment has changed. The media environment has changed.
Yeah.
And they charge for everything now.
Oh
like
yeah,
you can't just like back in the day. Remember, you would just turn on like NBC,
it would just be on.
And you'd be like, "Oh, there's the opening game. There's the closing ceremony. Look, there's sports," or ABC or whoever would have it.
Yep.
Now it's like, oh, if you want to watch it, it's or you can get the Olympic app for $25, but then you have to buy everything. No, that's what I'm saying. Everything has become so commercial. We've gotten away, to John's point, the basics of what the Olympics was supposed to be.
Yeah,
and I think. I don't really care. Like I totally forget the Olympics. If it wasn't for the article in the Financial Times, I would have never known. Yeah, I would have never even known there was an Olympics going on. However, curling must stay. We should have every 4 years a curling competition. Yeah, that has to stay forever. I don't care if everything else is canceled.
I want to go back to the World Games. I'm looking at their website now. It's actually really interesting. They've chosen all these sports that are not, or these games that are not competitive in the Olympics. Things like sumo or squash or flying disc, which I assume is frisbee.
Frisbee.
Karate, kickboxing. I mean, these are all. There's even something called korfball, which I have no idea what korfball is. But there it is. It's the ball around the pole.
Oh, we used to play that when we were kids.
I guess so. Yeah.
Squash. I'm surprised. That's a good sport.
It's like badminton is Olympic sport, John. Give me a break. It's badminton. The only reason they want badminton there is so when you hit the cock, they go, "He's hit the cock," and they're like,
they want to say it. Yeah,
that's all they want to be able to say.
But badminton is not squash.
No, those are two different things.
Squash is squash. I had squash last night with my meal. It was a beautiful thing. Seasoning. I liked it a lot.
But that's what I'm saying is that the media environment stage. Now you've got, and this is not even touching on the esports, which is a huge phenomenon. It's another one I was talking with a friend about because he didn't know that there were even these huge esport crazes in Vegas. They have the competitions all around the world. They have competitions.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's become so diversified. There is no unified story and unified experience among people because there's just so much content out there now. How do you actually create a national pride around something that most people don't even watch?
Yeah. Plus, as you said, I don't know if esports, but competitions
or e-gaming.
E-gaming. Yeah. I mean, watching somebody I guess if that's your world, maybe you're excited to see the guy, and he's like in the computer and you see his screen and okay.
I'll give you. No, I know it doesn't jam for everybody, but I mean, there are people who watch other people play games. That's very popular. Twitch, as you know, became hugely popular because of that. Discord as well. But these are things that people do. They even have the world. You guys got to look this up. I'm an Excel nerd. I love that stuff. But there's an Excel World Championship of people who compete on how good they are at Excel. That's how diversified it's gotten.
That's awesome. Wait a minute. Now let me give you this fact because I bet you don't know this. The global esport market generated about $1.1 billion in revenue in 2021.
Okay.
And is projected to, wait, here it goes. In 2022, it did 1.14. In 2023, it did 1.22. It went down, it went up a little bit. By 2023, esports is projected to do $1.9 billion. So in the next 6 years,
not a huge growth factor.
That's because people have a life, and how many nerdy kids with acne are really going to sit in the basement and play? They can't get chicks, so like at some point you grow up and you're like,
there are females that do play, so it's.
Have you seen them? Have you seen them, John? Have you seen them? It's like down, Fido, down. I mean, I'm just saying. Let's just be real, okay? It's not like the hot chicks are playing this sport, so, and they don't have cheerleaders, so you can't. It's not a real sport without a cheerleader. I'm sorry. That's the way it should be.
Well,
In fact,
cheerleading is a sport at the World
I know.
Games.
Yes.
dude, they've
At
been
the
having
World
cheerleading
Games.
competitions forever. Are you kidding? In Orlando, they have the big one.
No, those are
for the
good.
mounts.
You know, that's some.
Yeah.
You know, the good ones. That's real talent. That's absolutely
Yeah,
real talent.
That
for
is. You throw a girl in the air, you got to catch her.
You got. Well,
I
you
think-
got to. You better catch her.
You better catch her. And I mean, I know we're joking about, but I've seen they did a sport on when Real Sports was on HBO. They did a story about it, and like some of these girls like get real injuries, like where you break your neck, you break your back, you break your leg. It's a whole thing. So I was like, wow, those to me are athletes. Nothing against esports, but really sitting there going,
No,
that's just I have good
It's not
hand and eye
athletic, for sure.
coordination. Yeah,
It's not a sport.
no. And that goes back to what the psychologists say. This generation just sits in the basement.
That's a controversial view, though. You know, to say that esports is not a sport, because that
Well,
could
that's
get
what David says.
Let's get some conversation in the channel now.
David said that esports sucks and it's not a real sport. David said that. Yes, David said that. You did just now. It's on the internet. It's got to be true. Send your cards and letters to David. So,
Yeah.
No, I'm not I just think it's funny. I mean, when I was a kid, we played video games. They were fun. But I watched a thing that there's professional athletes now that sponsor teams. And like like to own a team, you have, I think it's 5 to 7 guys. And you're paying these guys $250,000 to $500,000 a year. There's winnings. There's this. So it's like a $5 or $10 million investment. Well, it's almost like a Formula One team that you have to do every year to do.
I mean, based on esport or esportscharts.com. Okay. All right. These prize pools for the games like League of Legends or Counter-Strike, Counter-Strike, the first person shooter game, the prize pools are like $10 million.
Wow.
So there's a lot of money that could go around to the winning teams, playing these games.
Yeah. That's
real money.
That's definitely real money. And,
okay, now
maybe kids
Dota 2, 12.9 million.
Professional gaming video gamers. I don't know what you call them.
Gamers.
Professional gamers, I guess.
Yeah, professional gamers.
Esport athletes. I don't know. What do you put on your CV?
Well, you don't want to say athletes, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I don't think they're.
By the way, just so you guys know, I had to look this up because I believe Michael, but I just had to see how bad or good it was.
Yeah.
The Microsoft Excel World Championship, just last year, and it'll be, I'm assuming this year as well, was live streamed. Oh my God, on ESPN. So just so you know,
it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I swear, I'm looking right at it, Michael. Microsoft Excel World Championship live streamed on ESPN. Here, I'm going to put
great.
this.
Well,
it
shows you what's happened. What's happened to ESPN, or what's happened to the society. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So there you go. So there, I'm going to give. So I don't know if this year it's going to be there, but there you go. In 2023, it was live streamed on ESPN on December 9th. So if you're really that much of a nerd and you have a bunch of pocket protectors and pencils, and you live in grandma's basement.
Well, they don't
watch ESPN.
Notice they're not doing that. I just want to point out they're not doing that for Google Sheets. Okay, there's no Google Sheets World Championship.
Well, it is Microsoft, right?
But there's the Microsoft Excel World Championship.
Oh, it is. Yeah, I know. I got it. And Google Sheets.
Who's got the better software? Who's got the better software?
Yeah.
By the way, YouTube, that what we're on, owned by Google, so just suck up a little bit.
That's right. So, listen, yeah. Google Alphabet is the big fish out there. Yeah, definitely part of the Magnificent Seven. Yeah.
Yes, but no, that when you said that they have an Olympics for it, I said to myself, we as a globe are stupid enough to watch this. So I just said, XL Olympics televised, and it came back where it was on ESPN on December 9th, and I'm like, oh my God. And I wish there was a way to get, and I'm sure we could ask ESPN, to get the number of viewers, but something tells me it was in the millions. Because there's enough people out there that would watch that. So but I just think that's funny. But that's where but to your point, there's something for everybody. Like, I'm sure our show is not for everybody, because they have no brains if they don't watch it, but it's not for everybody. But for the people that like it, it's cool. And for other people, like not everybody watches Joe Rogan. Not everybody watches
That's right.
the other show, right? So it's a personality thing. People have to like the personalities that they deal with and whatever. And we give you the news and we give you a good time. Every now and then we bring in a good guest. Who knows? So.
Well, so I'm looking at the esports statistics for the Excel esports tournaments. Yeah. All-time peak viewers was 527,000 on this metric. So it's not a huge number, but that's a lot. That's still a lot.
Wow, that is crazy. All right, so you can make an Olympics out of
viewers,
anything.
500,000.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
500,000 people. How bored are you though to watch?
Somebody else use Excel.
Use Excel.
Wow.
I mean, when I use Excel, I'm bored.
That's right. You might learn when you use it at work, and then you go watch it for fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's really interesting. I'm assuming they're doing it so quickly. You're not going to learn squat. You're just going to watch it go done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
so
you tape it and you slow it down.
Slow it down. I can go
right.
John, I could buy either Excel for Dummies, which I actually have in my bookshelf, or I can just go to YouTube and say, how do I do this on Excel? And it walks me through it. And now with ChatGPT 4.0, it just does it for me.
Well, now that's a good point. 4.0 mini. 4.0 mini. Now there's a mini version of 4.0.
Is that free or
it's for small? It's for midget people. It's for little midgets. I don't know. 4.0. I pay $20 a month for my ChatGPT.
Yeah, you got to pay for it.
Yeah,
they limit you.
Open up your wallet.
They limit you if you can use a little bit of it if you're on the free plan.
3.5, and I've said this before, is using 4 to 3.5. 3.5 is like dealing with a 8th or 9th grader.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
But 4.0 is like dealing with a PhD student. And we've literally tried comparisons and saying, even when we first were using it for our show, I'd say, write this, and you read what they would write. And they both got the same thing, and you'd read what they're like, wow. So we just we'll just continue to pay for it. So we pay for the 4.0 and
it's great
stuff that comes with it. It's wonderful. Yeah.
Good partner to work with. And that's excellent. Kind of the future of it. So I've got something for you related to that on the Lost and Found. So I'll save that. But AI, this is still, as we harp on it a lot, but it's still not gaining the mainstream traction. There's still a small contingent of people, like the people on this call, in this Lost Dollar Business Club.
We'll help you out.
I mean, not a lot of people. Yeah, it is a call. Not a lot of people though are really using it on a regular basis, and it's still kind of amazing to me that there's so many fights going on about it and so many discussions at high levels at the executive level. But I think average people still are not picking up on it and realizing that this is a hugely transformative technology.
I use it on my phone. I have it on my laptop. I have it on my. I have it everywhere. Oh yeah, on the phone.
It is embedded in a lot of places, right?
Well, no, I use Gemini is embedded now on Google Workspace.
Gemini works good for the investment banking side of what
you got.
We do.
Copilot on Windows.
Copilot on Microsoft.
Yeah.
But Gemini works good for the investment banking side, and 4.0 works good, I find, on the entertainment side and writing things. So different AI I'm finding out now. Copilot I've used a little bit, but not enough, so I have no opinion. But Gemini, when we do like our real job, we use more Gemini because we find that it does a little more in-depth things that we want. And then with ChatGPT, it's like, interesting. So what I've also learned is it's like picking the right running shoe.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Running trainer, if you will, or picking the right equipment. You have to have the right equipment for the job. So you have to actually try it on multiple platforms and go, okay, this works better here. But in my phone, I have ChatGPT 4.0, and I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And
the thing is with Gemini, Google's product, that's built into their workspace if your company enables it, I suppose, or pays for it. And we have it at the office, and I think it's been really helpful setting up. Of course, summarizing things, that's the common use case, but even just helping with a business case or a case study. I mean, it'll give you at least formatting and some ideas. You use it as someone to bounce ideas off of. That's how I use it in that. And Gemini's been pretty good around that.
And we've used Gemini and ChatGPT 4.0 for the marketing for the show. We actually, for the marketing brochure, the marketing document we had to put together for a sponsor, we said, okay, none of us are marketing guys. What do? we went in and gave it, and it gave us a full outline, and David took the outline and made it into a beautiful presentation, which was awesome. So yeah, so it actually works. So I'm all for AI. And this, just so you know, next Saturday, not this Saturday, we're doing, I'm trying to think of what we talked about drugs on the Habana Cigar Show, which follows this show. But not just like drugs, like drug dealers and people that use drugs. And it's an interesting show. Yeah, it was more interesting than I thought it was going to be. But next week on the Habana Cigar Show, we have the whole show is about AI.
Ah, okay. So watch the cigar show, folks. Watch the cigar show.
It's not just about cigars and scotch. It's about, we actually have actual conversations that are intellectual about other things, but we do have a sommelier, so we have to do a cigar review on it. So he's got to, like, you know,
you've got to do. It's a tough ask.
Yeah. It's a tough act to follow. He's like, and I'm smoking. So you know, if you don't want to watch that, skip the first 10 minutes and watch the rest of the show, and we can learn something. So there you go. But anyway, that's that. I don't want to build it.
All right. Well, look. Are we ready for Lost and Found? I think we can.
We're always ready for Lost and Found.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome to this week's Lost and Found, uncovering dollar winners and losers, where we discuss dollars lost and dollars gained by various companies and projects.
That almost sounds like the Sting. If you listen closely to the Lost and Found music, if you listen to the piano in the background, remember the Sting? And that's what it sounds like. If you ever don't remember the movie,
I feel like we're in an old time Western, and we should be at one of those.
Listen to the theme from the movie The Sting. Okay. Listen to the Lost and Found, and it almost sounds like just there at the end where it's like, oh wow, it almost sounds like, but it's the Sting. I don't know. What do I know? Anyway, that's what I think. So.
Well, look, I'll give you one because I teased it earlier over AI. So to continue that conversation, video game performers will go on strike over AI concerns. So basically, Hollywood SAG-AFTRA, the what is that? The Screen Actors Guild.
Right.
They voted to go on strike because the big Hollywood producers are not giving them protection against using AI to replicate an actor's voice or create a digital replica without consent or fair compensation. So the union is putting their foot down and saying this is enough. But the producers are saying, you know what? It's just they're actually not commenting at all. They're just not negotiating on using generative AI. So this is going to be a big fight.
Interesting. I like that. All right. This will be interesting. Johnny, what do you have that's interesting for us today?
All right. So, you know, we focused on, the environmental sort of requirements that companies are being asked to do and sort of the fight back. But there's also the DEI business, which I thought was, I found this interesting. The chief diversity officer positions at major universities primarily go to Black males and females. Now, Black females, right, which represents 6% of the population, they obtained 55% of the top diversity officer roles in the top 50 colleges and universities in the U.S. So it just, while Blacks represent 13% of the population, they were 80% of the highest ranking DEI positions in the top 50 universities in the U.S., which is where's the diversity in that? Latinos were only 6%, despite being 19% of the population, and Asians were only 2%, despite being 7%, and the whites did not fare well, only about 2% of the top roles.
Wow.
So where's the DEI in that?
DEI is not representative.
Bullshit. Yeah, it's total craziness. Now the other one that I have, that's
I want to stay on this one for a second. I just think that's funny. So because we have to we're doing diversity. I'm all for diversity, just to make sure that we feel good about ourselves as a university. We're just going to give it. Now, I'm going to assume whether you're white, you're Black, you're green, or you're Asian, or you're Hispanic, you're qualified. I'm assuming that it's going to a qualified candidate, not just a person of X, just to say we have this person here, right? We're hoping.
Yeah, let's hope.
Okay. And what do you need a diversity officer for? You'll have to forget. I'm an
Well,
old
that's a
school guy. I
different
don't get
story,
it.
right?
That's
I don't.
another conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Never mind.
Yeah, but so it's all about advancing, transforming our workplaces and communities. It's just. But the nice thing about all of that is that companies, at least, are getting pressure from customers and other people,
Right.
and they're reversing their programs. They're cutting them. They're getting rid of
Well, they
people.
weren't doing. They were being. I mean, a lot of them were being racist themselves.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
DMV.
Well,
Let's
these numbers
just
show
call it what it
that,
is.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't actually doing the mission of creating an inclusive workplace.
Yeah, it's just trying to
Can't you just have someone with a brain? And
yeah.
literally, we used to get CVs. I didn't care if it was a male or a female. I'd be
Right.
like, are they qualified? Great, hire them. I don't care what
Yeah.
your color your
Yeah.
skin is. I don't care if you're
Yeah.
male or female. Who cares? Just let them do their job.
Yeah.
We're such
The other
stupid
one I
geese.
have is if you live in California and you want to be in the 1%, you have to earn $1 million or more annually. This is
And you
according
walk away
to
with about $4.50 after tax.
there's 39 million people in California,
Right.
20 million income tax returns, and so about 200,000 California households make more than $1 million per year. So
Nice. That keeps the state of
Yeah.
California afloat. Good for them.
go
Well,
in the East.
I,
The top earners are in Connecticut, Massachusetts,
Yeah.
yeah, they're all coming from New York.
Jersey.
They
Yeah.
all go to New York for the low. They all leave New
Yeah.
York for the lower taxes. Pretty soon it's going to be Florida and
Now,
Texas because they're
if
all
you
moving
live
there.
in New Mexico, Mississippi, or West Virginia, you're in the 1% if you make less than about $500,000. So
I thought you were going to say $500. I was going to be
Yeah,
like,
no.
everyone's going to be moving tomorrow. Are you
Come on,
kidding?
Steven. Yeah. Right.
yeah,
Well, it is Louisiana. You know what I'm saying?
so there you go.
yeah.
You got to move to those
Well,
states.
you know what else
want
is
to feel
moving out
rich.
to New Mexico? New Mexico, a lot of people did build a mega studio in Albuquerque, and a lot of people from Los Angeles now are moving to New
Wow.
Mexico because the film industry is moving there because the state and the city is giving them tons of tax credits. So that's an
Yep.
interesting.
Well, I mean,
That's a
I
whole
think
interesting.
the distribution of art, it doesn't have to be centralized anymore, and it
Yeah,
shouldn't
it's true.
be. It shouldn't be.
Right,
No, I agree.
yeah. I think California, because of its, it's a bureaucratic nightmare.
Yeah.
It's adding huge costs. They're as you said, New Mexico, Georgia is a huge,
Film.
movie,
Tyler Perry.
film, entertainment center, let's call it. So no surprise there.
Tyler Perry's got his whole, I want to say it's 100-acre or 500-acre studio set up there, and people film there all the time.
Yeah.
Texas, there was an article in the Financial Times talking about the ease of doing business in Texas. Texas has literally got rid of all their bureaucratic stuff so businesses can come in and do whatever. There's also negatives to the article, but it was just saying that if doing business in Texas is a lot easier than California. That's why Californians, New York companies are leaving to come to Texas because there's no like red tape. You can get things done. So I thought that was interesting. But anyway, here's my two.
Yeah.
One is a 50-year-old tradition we're about to say goodbye to. It made me cry. Southwest Airlines is going to start assigning seats.
Yes.
No.
I think it's starting in November or December. Yeah, starting in November or December. Southwest Airline will start assigning you your seat. They'll be no better than anybody else. A lot of this is because apparently their doors are flying off because of Boeing. Thank you. So they're going to start assigning seats. Their shares have been down. This has been down. So their people are like, enough is enough. Start assigning seats.
Wasn't that part of the charm of Southwest?
It was.
Yeah,
Well,
but these days, the way people act, it's probably, no, that's my seat. Start a fist fight probably in the plane. I don't know.
Oh, I hope not.
Here's what's interesting about Southwest that I liked. I like the fact that there was the business plus, then business, and then cattle, whatever. So if we had to fly Southwest, we just buy the business plus. You're one of the first 15 people on the plane. You sit down, and it's civilized, right? And then they would do it in the 1 through 30, 36, or whatever. And I was like, okay, I have no problem with that. I was like, this is perfect. So I'm not really sure. The article didn't really go into why. Yeah, it's gonna be like any other airline. And I don't really. And the article didn't really go into why they were doing it. They were just doing it because they think that's the way to do it. And I'm like, I don't think so. I kind of like it where I can pick and choose my own thing.
I don't know. I know of people who fly Southwest specifically because they don't do it like anybody else.
Yeah, I like Southwest. Anyway, my other story, which I think is interesting, there's an article in the FT this morning. So when Trump was president the last time, Trump hated crypto. But this time around, Trump is getting a lot of donations from the crypto community. So the crypto community is hoping that Trump wins. So crypto, because the SEC is still giving crypto ETFs and everything a hard time. They're hoping Trump changes the mind of the SEC. I'm sure he'll get rid of it. So of course he would. But he'll change the mind of the SEC and everything else for crypto. So the crypto boys, they're hoping for that. Yeah, I'm not sure what Kamala Harris is doing. We'll see. And I will say this. Kamala Harris is 1 percentage point behind Trump now. So now it's a much closer election. And even the FT, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, everybody's like, now it's up in the air. Before, if it was Biden, Trump was winning.
They're not going to say anything
not so much.
They're not going to say anything else.
Come on.
That's what they say. It's a 1%. They did a poll, and the poll is the difference between
and we got 450 people. 375 were Democrats, and the rest were Republicans. And they also really supported Kamala. Laughing Kamala.
I love how democratic the democratic process is for the DNC. Yeah. The delegates just flocked to Kamala, of course.
Well, this morning, Barack Obama, or last night, I guess, gave her his endorsement. So
because why would you leave that to some sort of internal vote?
Why would you have a convention where you're supposed to actually pick somebody? No, that's crazy talk.
No, we'll pick him for
somebody endorsing somebody. Does that change somebody's vote? I mean,
maybe.
I think it does. I think people care about endorsements.
Yeah.
Because if they feel connected to the person or the group that's doing the endorsement, for sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously that works in unions, but for celebrity figures like Obama,
that's a
I
big
think
one.
people follow it. I think people follow it.
Yeah. The articles in The Economist and everything else say that she is a Gen X that relates to the Gen Z, the Gen this. So the other thing is though,
what publication?
The Economist. I've heard The Economist. Another communist paper, John. Yes, the Financial Times, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, The Economist are all communist propaganda. I'm well aware. However, it's the stuff I read. But what's finding interesting about this election now, at least when she speaks, I feel like I'm here, a person. You know what I mean? Like someone's speaking. When Biden spoke, it was sort of like my grandfather was speaking. I'm like, Granddad, let's just go sit in the chair. We'll have a scotch and cigar. We'll talk about the good old days, when the horse carriage came. So who knows? It could be it's going to, I think, turn out to be a very interesting election.
A debate?
I would pray to God they have a debate because I would love her. And the same kind of debate, though, that Trump had with Biden, where you have 2 minutes to answer and they don't get to interrupt each other and they do their thing and the microphone. I would love for them to have a debate. I don't know. An article I read that the Trump camp's just a little worried about her, meaning like she's not like Biden. So I don't know if they can have a debate, because I don't know how Trump would fare in a debate with her, because I think she could bring out the street. I would love that. Are you kidding? That would be the best Saturday Night Live skit in the world. But I really would love to see them have a debate. I think it could be, if they do it the way they did with Biden Trump, I think
I don't know. You saw her when you saw her. There are lots of videos of how she debates. Lots of videos of how she debates. So I'd love to see it now.
She takes no shit from anybody. I like that.
In a way.
If you see a presidential debate and with Tulsi Gabbard, she just destroyed it right now.
Destroyed her.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the other thing which is interesting, and I said this on one of the other shows, because she's a woman of color. All she needs to do now is become a lesbian and turn to the Jewish faith, and we've checked all the boxes. And then in 4 years, we don't care who we elect, because apparently that's what we do. We have to make sure that we have to include it.
When she ran for the Senate, The paper said, the first Indian American. Now
Right.
she's the first black woman. What is she? In the end?
Well, remember, she's the border czar too. She's the border czar.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's explain what she really is. Her mom is from India.
Yeah.
So she's an Indian American. She's an Indian American, not the feathers and horseback riding Indian, but an Indian from America. And her dad was Jamaican American. So she's an Indian Jamaican American. I don't know if that makes you black or if that just makes you like a Heinz 57, but it makes you apparently non-white, according to everybody. To me, she's a human being, and I'm hoping that she does better than Mr. Biden was going to do. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting few months now. I think the election is interesting now.
All right.
No, we don't think
so. Here's the
I don't
interesting.
know. Let's just who knows?
Yeah.
Let's come out of this. Let's come out of this alive as an American country. All right.
I like it. There you go. In fact, before we go, because we're an American country, we're going to do this for all the Americans. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Everybody, thank you for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I think next week, do we have a guest or we just have everybody back?
It's everybody back, but I will not be here. So it's just going to be you guys for the next show. That's right.
Really? We're going to miss you.
I'm taking some time off.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to miss you. What's his name again? Anyway, so don't forget to subscribe and like. If you don't want to tune in next week, I mean, I wouldn't tune in next week. But anyway, tune in next week, and it'll be John, myself, and David. Don't forget you can catch us on Two Old Farts Making Noises wherever you get your podcasts. Look for Lost Dollar Business Club. And if you want to be a guest and you have something and you want to tell us, please tell us. We always like to learn. And don't forget to subscribe, like, leave your comments below. We'll see you all next Saturday. Cheers, everybody.